Hello class, welcome to a brief outline of the major parts of the research project you will write on the film Moonlight. So, overall, the central question and focus of your project is to connect what we call mise-en-scene elements with a central theme of Moonlight. Central themes of the film Moonlight will be discussed in future video lectures and classes that we have together. But for this project, the key thing I want you to do is articulate how the director, Barry Jenkins, uses the language of cinema to discuss the ideas and themes of the film Moonlight. Your project, especially Section 3, should discuss the relationship between filmmaking techniques and the presentation of themes and ideas. Overall, the research project has three main sections. These sections are the literature review, scene analysis, and the point when you defend your analysis, where you discuss the relationship of direction to themes. This project will be graded via rubrics. Throughout this entire semester, you've been graded on rubrics, so please make sure to read the PowerPoint to further understand how I will grade this project. But it is nothing different from how you have been graded throughout the semester. So let's talk about section number 1, the literature review. The literature review asks you to learn how to find and evaluate sources, to present accurately a summary of the main idea of the sources you've read, and to demonstrate what you have learned from this research on the film. In this section, you will write about 2 sources. After reading these 2 sources, you will write the following: 1 paragraph for each source that summarizes its main idea. You will not use quotes in this section. You will paraphrase and use your own words to describe the ideas of the pieces that you've read. So let's look at how to write a proper summary paragraph. Here are some key guidelines for writing a summary of an article. 1, make sure you state the author, title, and topic of the article. Note, the topic is not the thesis statement or main idea. For instance, if you read the article on aesthetics and masculinity in Moonlight that you can find on Blackboard, the topic of this is how masculinity is presented in the film. This is not the thesis. This is the topic. Next, you will state the main idea of the article. So after introducing the author, title, and topic, you will state the main idea. Next, you will identify at least one important detail from the essay and explain how it supports the main idea of the piece that you've read. So if you think of it this way, you should have a series of layers. First, you introduce the author, title, and topic, then the main idea, then at least one supporting idea that you connect to how it supports the main idea. While writing this, you should write the entire summary of part 1 in your own words. Avoid copying phrases and sentences from the article. Each of your summary paragraphs should be 5 sentences long, at minimum. When we talk about summarizing language, what I mean is this. You should put the ideas of what you have read in your own words. This means no quote marks. You should paraphrase. To help you do this, I've set a mandate of only 2 words per sentence from the original source. So let's look at an example. DiMattea notes that Jenkins uses close-up shots to increase tension and to humanize the feelings of his characters. Page 14. See here in this example sentence how the student used no quotes from the article, but put the idea of the article in their own words, then provided an in-text citation at the end to tell the reader when they used that on page 14. Ideally, 85% of your entire summaries, your entire literature review, should have a parenthetical citation of the author's name and page number. If there is no page number for an online source, you should still use the author's idea. So 85% of the sentences in part 1 of the research project should have an in-text citation. Let's move to part 2, scene analysis. The scene analysis should be pretty familiar for you because you have been asked to do this for 3 papers. The goals of section 2 of the research project is for you to show me how to critically examine a film, how to introduce and describe evidence from a film, and how to learn to describe and then explain that evidence. At its core, this section asks you to write about 2 scenes and explain how Jenkins creates the world of his film using the techniques of mise-en-scène. So, think of it this way. You should have 1 quality paragraph that introduces, describes, and analyzes a scene that we discussed in class, either via PowerPoint or a video lecture or virtual meetings. Then you should select 1 other scene on your own that was not described in class. I will make sure in our discussions to always leave enough key scenes of the film that you'll be able to select one for you to write about. So, at your core, your 2 scene analysis paragraphs should introduce the context of the scene, telling me when does it take place in the film, who are the central characters, and what is happening. You should then provide a detailed description of what you are watching, paying special attention to things like diegetic sound, costuming, lighting, color effects, so forth. Then you should describe what you are being shown is an example of mise-en-scene that connects to a theme of the film. To explain it simply, mise-en-scene refers to what we are seeing on screen in a film. It's the film's visuals, all of the elements that appear in front of in the camera, and their arrangement. So you could talk about lighting, acting choices, color, camera movement, sound. You could pick any number of these in your scene and then explain how one of these elements relates to a key theme from the film Moonlight. The final section is the Defend Your Analysis section. Here's the part where you can bring together all the work you've done throughout the project and present a clear articulation of how Barry Jenkins' direction proves and presents a theme from the film. The goals of this section are for you to learn how to structure an argument, how to connect your personal thoughts and opinions about the film using evidence found in the film, and how to craft an argumentative, persuasive essay. This section asks you to defend your analysis by reflecting on everything that you have done and analyzed throughout the project. You will describe your understanding of the film's theme with the goal of proving that this argument has been presented, or not, by Jenkins. You may use any of the research you have done throughout the previous 2 sections of the paper, but you are not required to do so. Thank you very much, and check other future video lectures for discussions of themes about the film Moonlight.